Please tell us about yourself. What are your interests and hobbies? My name is Francis Ennin. I had my education, that is, from the basic school to the senior high school, as well as the university in the central region of Ghana. I always have the interest of helping my students achieve as much as they can in their academic work. For my hobbies, I enjoy watching football, playing football as well, and I also like reading a lot. Describe how your teaching here will improve your home school when you return. After my experience in the United States of America, all the experiences and the skills I will acquire whilst I am in the United States, I will try as much as possible to apply them when I return to my home country to improve my teaching as well as my school environment in my home country. Why did you decide to become a teacher for the subject for which you were applying? When I was in the basic school, as well as the senior high school, I realized that most of my colleagues struggled with mathematics, but I was good at it, and decided to pursue it when I developed an interest in becoming a teacher, purposely so that I will be able to help my students learn with ease the mathematical concept that they will be taught, so they will not have to struggle with maths as my colleague did at the basic school and the senior high school. Are you currently employed as a teacher? Yes, I am currently employed as a teacher in a senior high school in my country. How many hours per day do you teach, and how many days per week? On the average, I teach 4 hours a day and 5 days in the week. That is from Monday to Friday. Describe your teaching experience. What subjects have you taught, and at what grade level? I've taught as a teacher for 4 years now, and I've done all that at the senior high school level. That is, I've been teaching both the general mathematics, core mathematics, and then relative mathematics. Describe other work experiences you have had besides teaching. When I was in the university, whenever I was on long vacation, I used to work with one of the hospitals in our locality, that is their finance section. I was the one working on their national health insurance claims for them at the end of every month. Have you ever worked in the United States? If so, when, where, and why? I have never worked in the United States before. What do you hope to be doing professionally 5 years from now? 5 years from now, I expect to still be in the teaching profession, but preferably at a higher level, that is the university or the polytechnic. Describe how you keep parents informed regarding the work of your students. At the end of every semester, reports of students' performance are sent to their parents. Yes, and then within the semester, if any issue crops up about a student which deserves immediate attention, the authorities of the school are made aware, and parents are invited for such discussions to take place to benefit the students. Tell about any special activity you have done at your school. I, together with other colleagues, we have formed a maths and science club at my school with the aim of helping or giving the students more information as to the importance of mathematics and its relevance to our daily activities, for them to appreciate mathematics more. do you prepare to teach your lessons? In preparing to teach my lessons, I make sure I research to get more information about the content I'm going to teach, the methods I'm going to use, the TLMs I will need, and the details as to what I'm going to do in the classroom, as well as the stages I'm going to use in teaching the particular concepts. What would your lesson plans include? In writing my lesson plans, it will include the objective of the lesson, what I want the student to be able to do at the end of the lesson. I also look at the TLMs I'm going to use, the appropriate TLMs, the various stages I'm going to go through during the lesson. I also look at how I'm going to evaluate the lesson, and then I also look at the details, the step-by-step methods I'm going to use to teach the lesson. Think about a class that you have taught recently. Talk about 2 of the teaching strategies or methods that you used. For the class I taught recently, I employed, first of all, the inquiry-based instruction method. That is, after introducing the lesson, I allowed the student to ask as many questions as they can. And then in answering the questions, help them to understand the concepts. After that, I also used the student-led teaching strategy, where I grouped the students into groups of 5 and gave them tasks to work on, that is questions to solve in groups. After that, I made them select a group to represent each, a leader to represent each group, and the leaders were made to present their solutions on the board for their colleagues to also learn from them. What methods do you use to grade or evaluate a student's progress? I use tests. I also use group assignments. I sometimes also give students individual assignments. And then also, I observe my students in class sometimes. And then I also use oral tests, that is sometimes oral tests as well, to evaluate my student progress in class. If you use technology in your teaching, describe how you use it. Specifically discuss your experience using a smart board and ways that you incorporate it into your lessons. In my country, the use of technology is quite difficult since we do not have much technological instruments to aid our instructions. But as a teacher, I mostly prepare PowerPoints of the concept I want to teach and then present it in class with the aid of a projector for my students to learn from. With the matter of a smart board, we do not have a smart board in our school, but as a beneficiary school for my country's SIP program, that is Secondary Education Improvement Project, the teachers, we went for a workshop where we learned about the use of the smart board for teaching, since some of the beneficiary schools have been given these smart boards. If you have students who are noisy or non-attentive, share with us 2 ways you get them to be quiet and concentrate. For students who are noisy, I will give them more responsibility in the class. Example, making them leaders in the groups. I can also use audiovisuals, which brings to mind the use of technology, PowerPoint for teaching. Sometimes I change their sitting positions, which sometimes also helps with controlling their noise in the class. Describe the most difficult problem you have had to deal with as a teacher, and how did you solve this? After my national service, I was engaged in my former school to teach mathematics, and I was given a visual art class to start with them relative mathematics, which is quite difficult compared to the general maths or the core math they do. And these students are students who are perceived to be low achievers when it comes to math and science subjects. So they were already demotivated with respect to learning of mathematics. So their interest in the subject was not there in the first place. But what I had to do was to start with them from what they do not know, from what they know to what they do not know, then known to the unknown. Sometimes go to the extent of teaching topics that are in their basic school syllabus, that is their junior high school syllabus, before I take them back to the topic we're supposed to treat in the elective mathematics, which helps to arouse their interest for them to be able to learn the elective mathematics. Give one example to show that you are a flexible person and that you can make changes to your teaching and methods if that is necessary. Sometimes I'm able to allow my students to introduce to the class methods or procedures that they have for some concepts. And if I research and realize they are approved procedures or methods, I allow my students to use them. And then also, if I use a strategy or a method for a concept and I realize it didn't go well, I approach some of my colleagues for suggestions. And if they give me suggestions and I realize they are going to help, I go back to the class and teach the students with these suggestions, which helps the students to learn the concept very well sometimes. Is there anything you would like to add about your qualification that we may not be aware of? Yes, I mentioned earlier about a workshop, that is a SIP workshop, the Secondary Education Improvement Program workshop on capacity building, which I have a certificate for. And then my school also organizes a capacity building workshop for all the teachers in the school, which I also have a certificate for. Have you spoken to your family about going to the United States to teach? Is there anything, such as a family member, that might object to your leaving home? Are you aware that your family members may not join you here until approximately 4 to 6 weeks after your arrival? Yes, I've spoken to my family, and they are all very happy about me getting the chance to teach in the United States. And also, I'm very much aware from the forms I filled on the internet that until after 4 to 6 weeks, I'll not be able to invite any of my family members to where I will be. Describe what you have done to learn about teaching in the United States. Since I started working on this particular project, let me say yes, this project, I have read about the education structure in America, which I would say is quite similar to ours here. That is from kindergarten, you go to the primary school, the junior high school, senior high school, before you can proceed to higher education, which is the universities, to study higher courses. And then I've also read about America as a country and its people, the cultures, and I've also tried looking at the curriculum, the math curriculum of the various stages in the academic calendar of America as a nation. Thank you.